Welcome to the Pregnancy Loss Podcast, the place I created for moms like us. Pregnancy loss is all-encompassing and creates an overarching theme that runs through our lives forever. We have to learn to live with and beside the grief of losing our baby. We have to learn how to live again, how to parent again, how to engage and interact and be social again, how to communicate effectively to connect with our spouses and significant others. We have to find who we are now. I'm here to empower and inspire you to live a life even with our unique circumstances. We cannot change what happened, but we can grow and use that strength and resilience to create a life that we love. I'm here to share everything I know about grief, motherhood, loss, marriage, friendship, and parenting. I'm here to encourage you to find the beautiful side of grief, the side where we don't have to isolate ourselves or suppress the need to share stories, the side where you have moms just like you to support and encourage you. The side where we become the best versions of ourselves, not in spite of our loss, but thanks to it. Pregnancy loss is devastating, but it can also be an opportunity to reflect on who we were and who we want to become. So join me every Tuesday for a new episode on the Pregnancy Loss Podcast. Let's jump in. Hey friend, I'm so happy that you're here. Today I wanted to do a reintroduction episode and just kind of talk about what I'm doing right now and for all my new followers, and also just some other thoughts I've been having lately that I just wanted to share. So let's jump into that. I'm Vallen. Sometimes I don't know how to start this. I have so many things. We'll start out with what everybody normally does. I'm Vallen. I am 34. I live in Illinois. I'm a mom of 4 living children, 1 angel baby that I lost in 2019. It was a full-term stillbirth, which is probably, if you haven't guessed, this is why I do this. This is why the podcast is called Pregnancy Loss and Motherhood. And I've been married for 11, wait a minute. Been married, oh my God, 2013. Been married for 10 years, together for 11. There we go. To Jonathan, who is, I just love him. And he's such a big supporter of everything that I do. Thankfully, because every day I have a new venture. I started by supporting moms in the hospital after they lost a baby. And that's after I had started becoming a postpartum doula. And I had started my training before I lost my daughter, months before I lost my daughter, like 4 months before. And I knew I wanted to support moms. I've known I wanted to support moms after my second child was born, and I developed postpartum rage and depression and anxiety and just not understanding anything about my mental health as a mom, the hormonal issues, like just everything that comes along with having children. And so that got me into it. And I started helping moms during loss, working as a postpartum doula, which is probably one of my favorite jobs in the whole world. And now I created a pregnancy loss education course that teaches doulas and postpartum doulas and like anybody who works in the pregnancy field and postpartum field, how to support families after pregnancy loss, like stillbirth and miscarriage. And yes, I want you to know and be validated that I know there's so many different types of pregnancy loss. A lot of the losses happen in the miscarriage time frame. So I tend to just group them in the miscarriage. I'm not doing it to hurt anybody's feelings but there's a lot of them, and having to list them every time is kind of a mouthful. So just know that I see you and I am validating you, and I know that there's more than just those two. And then I started this podcast, and we just hit our 1 year in October. So I'm super excited that I have gotten this far. I say we, and it's really just me. And this is something that I have found that I can get my message out there, and it's really therapeutic for me. So I really enjoy recording these. And then also, I am opening my own postpartum doula agency. As a postpartum doula, I've worked for a few agencies and it's been lovely and I like doing it and I love the clients and stuff. But I just think it's time for me to branch out. I want to make more money. I want to make more impact. I want to support more families. And I want to do a majority of my work from home so that I can stay with my two youngest. They'll have to be in care sometimes, but my goal is, flexibility and freedom for my family. And so for me, it feels amazingly right to start an agency. And the other agencies that I've worked for, like, full spectrum services, like including birth and all the prenatal stuff. And that's just not for me. I've never been drawn to the birth side. It's always been the postpartum side. So I figured a postpartum agency would just be phenomenal. Um, and I guess a big part of why I wanted to get on today, I have just been, feeling imposter syndrome because opening an agency seems scary, and I don't want people to hate me for opening an agency, especially like my agencies that I've worked for. But it's like, I deserve space too, and I mean, everybody is allowed to take up space and do what they want, and I am all about the collaboration of working with other doulas and agencies and all of that. And it's been really hard because in this world, in the birth world and stuff, it can go either way. And I'm just doing my best never to hurt anyone or, whatever. But anyways, I've been feeling like an imposter because, I've only been a postpartum doula for 5 years and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I have so much experience and so much knowledge and so much education to share. And after creating my course and like working with the first founding members, I had them take the course and like go through it, and they're giving me feedback, and I'm learning more about how people learn and how they take in information, and tuning my knowledge to helping more people by having different ways of learning for them. And I just feel like at this point in my life, teaching is what I want. And I've decided to also take my pregnancy loss education course and create a workshop and just do live in-person workshops. Like we'll do one here in Illinois, probably in the Chicago area, northern Chicago. I want to do it in the Seattle area and the I can't think, Scottsdale, Arizona area, and San Francisco, and someone wanted one in Florida. And so I have so many things going on, but it is all making sense to me and it is feeling so aligned. And it is so important for me to tell you guys that, because even after I lost Evelyn, I never thought anything could ever be right again. And I thought, I never wanted to die. I never wanted to like commit suicide. I never had those big feelings. And a lot of us don't. A lot of us, really want to live. We love life. And we're just really sad that our kids aren't here. Our babies aren't here. But sometimes it's like, we just don't want to be here. Like we don't have a plan. We're not having ideations. We're just thinking about not existing. And I felt that way a bit after Evelyn died, and just like, it wouldn't matter if I was here or not. Obviously, until I got out of my fog and, remembered that, yes, I do have 2 other children that I need to be here for. But I never thought I would find a purpose. I honestly, guys, I had a shaky, toxic upbringing, and I didn't have any role models to follow other than like my friends' moms, of course, that I loved and took care of me. But guys, I was a fucking mess pretty much my whole life up until I was like 28, 29. And I have gone through life feeling like I don't belong and I don't know where I fit in and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Something that has followed me through my whole life, though, that I've always been able to do, I refused to settle and do something that felt bad, that felt or that I knew wasn't right, that I knew wasn't for me, and I wasn't having fun and I didn't enjoy it. Now, of course, I was broke a lot, obviously, because I just refused to be in those spaces. But it's because I didn't realize soon enough that I wasn't meant to be working for other people. I needed to be on my own. That's just the type of person that I am. It's the personality I have. I can work with other people. I can take criticism. I can take directions, from people above me, that kind of thing. But when in my heart I know that something is not meant for me, I will not do it. And of course, there were times in my younger 20s and my teen years where I would just do things because my friends were doing it, and it's not their fault. And I blame my friends here that listen. Or I just, I was blazing my own path and just doing whatever, but it wasn't a healthy way of living. It wasn't a healthy way of doing things. I didn't know any better. And after Evelyn died, you guys, again, I thought I would never find. Now it felt even worse. Like I was 10 times never going to find what I was supposed to be doing in life, because we are all always searching for a purpose. Some of us are content living the same way day after day, and that's okay if that's your life. You don't have to want more. I do. But I also always felt bad about that because I grew up in a family that said, you have enough. You are selfish for asking for more. You should be grateful for what you have. Just those kind of low energy, negative thoughts drilled in my head. My mother's favorite saying was, life sucks and then you die. That is literally what I heard as a child every day for years on a daily basis. You can imagine how primed my mind was to think negatively. And so as all of this is unraveling for me, and I know that I'm like throwing so much at myself, but it doesn't feel hard. Like it's hard. It's a lot of work, and I'm always trying to fit in little pockets of time wherever I can. Like right now I'm recording this podcast, and I know that I have to get my boys in daycare and really take this on full time, which I'm going to be doing in February when I open up my agency. But it doesn't, it feels easy. I feel ease. I'm like literally following these little instincts inside of me, or, I am always asking for direction from my, my spirit, my soul, source energy, whatever you want to call it. I've started asking for clarity and direction, and I'm like finally opening myself up to listening. And these nudges that I'm receiving and getting, I'm following, and I finally feel like, wow, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. This is what I am supposed to be doing. And so I just want you to know, if you're early in your grief journey, that it will always be with you, but you will be okay. And if you're looking for a sense of purpose, or if you're looking for the bright side of what happened, or you're just searching for something, I want you, even if you believe in God or whatever, just open yourself. Like I always lay on the bed, or I'll sit here when I'm working at my desk, and I'll just have my hands open, right? Like in a receiving way. And I'll just say, source energy, God, soul, spirit, like, I am so confused right now. I just need direction. Please send me clarity. I am opening I am open to receiving, instructions, or I'm open to receiving clarity. I'm here, I'm listening, please help me. You can do this whenever, all the time. But this is something you got to connect back with your body. I know a lot of us, when we lose our babies, we disconnect because we're mad at our bodies, because we believe there are pieces of us that believe it's our fault that our baby died, that we could have prevented it, that we could have done something differently, that, I shouldn't have gotten the hot tub, or I shouldn't have laid on my side the other night, or laid on my back the other night, or I shouldn't have eaten that sushi. Like, all day long, we're finding ways to justify what happened by blaming ourselves, and it's crap. And so I just want you to know that this is a good way to ask for guidance. People call it praying. I don't like that word. And I am not religious, but it's okay if you are. Like, I'm not here to harp on anybody for their religion. And just asking for guidance when you need it, and especially on those really hard days. Go sit in the sunshine. Sit with your palms open on your lap and just ask or pray. Commune with your source energy, your God, your soul. And I'm not trying to be preachy here, like spiritual, but that's something that's been helping me in finding my purpose and really listening. Like, whether it's from my own thoughts and feelings that I'm getting it doesn't matter. I'm finding my purpose, and every day I'm following it. And then some other things I've just, this may be TMI, but like, after, having Bodhi in June, and with all the breastfeeding, I finally started my period like last week for one day. And the week leading up to that day, and the, a few days after, I've been such a mess. And it made me realize how bad hormones can fuck up your body and your brain. I highly recommend getting a journal when you start your period again, and like finding your cycle and seeing, where you're at in your cycle, and kind of, because there's a way to live life around that, because there's different periods in your cycle where you should be resting, or where you're creative, or where you need to focus, and all stuff that I'm learning about. And I'm 34, okay, and I'm still learning about my body. It's crazy. I love my 30s. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how old you are, but I feel more me than I ever have. And oh my God, I can't even imagine what I'm going to feel like when I'm 40 and 50 and 60. I'm probably going to feel like I'm on top of the fucking world. I'm going to feel like I'm amazing. Even better than I am now. Not even as just a lost mom, but for all my women that are listening to my podcast, you and everyone else, I want you to view your loss as the beginning instead of just an end, because all endings are really beginnings. And you might not be able to do that yet, and that's okay. But it is me and my husband. Let me start over by telling you guys this. Me and my husband split our lives up into seasons. And right now we're on season 3. Because have you ever been told that you can do that? You can start over. You can create a new beginning. We decided to create a new beginning after Evelyn died and something else happened. And so after that, we were into our second marriage. And now we're into our third marriage, or third season of marriage. And I want to give you guys permission, not that you need it, but sometimes when somebody tells us we can do something, we feel so much better about it. Looking at this as your part 2, your season 2, your second stage of life, because you'll never be the person that you were before, whether it's loss or some type of trauma. It has completely changed you on a cellular level, and that is a fact. And it is time to embrace who you are now. And you can grieve and mourn for who you were, because she was a beautiful human. And we're always going to think those versions of us, we love them and we wish that they had better and deserved better and know better. But now we do. And now we can treat these women, these bodies that are us, in that way. I want you to know that you can create the life that you want, regardless of your circumstances. I was not on a good path once upon a time, and somehow I have ended up here. And it is through all the people that I've met, all the experience I've had, the loss, the trauma, the toxic relationships, the, going to college and becoming a doula, and all of these things have created who I am now. And I am so proud of who I am now. I can't even believe who I am now. And I want you guys to feel that too. I want you to love yourselves so hardcore. I want it to be embedded in everything you do, in your parenting, in your marriage, in your job, in your hobbies. Loving yourself is like the most outrageous thing you can do. Because society and all the, consumerism and materialism, and they don't want you to love yourself. They want you to buy products to make yourself feel better. So how radical is it to just love yourself, especially when you go through something hard? And every time you look in the mirror and you catch yourself saying something negative, or in regards to your loss, if you're like, God, I hate you, or I'm so mad at you, or I want you to just hug yourself and hug your belly and say the opposite. Say, you carried and you grew my baby. And because of that, I got to spend these weeks, months with you, with my baby. And I got to see my baby. And for those of you who didn't, I'm so sorry you didn't get to see them. But love on yourself instead. Even if you haven't lost a baby and you listen to my podcast, love yourself instead. You are worth everything. And I feel like I'm going on a tangent right now. This was meant to be a reintroduction and just some of the thoughts I've been having and blah, blah, blah. But okay, I will leave you with that. And I hope you enjoy this episode. I just hope it gives you a little light, a little hope. And remember not to let anybody stop you from whatever you want to do. Remember that the things that you think in your brain are literally meant for you. And then following those nudges that you get and like, oh my God, this would be a great idea. And like, if it's something you can't let go, follow it. We literally get one life. And we know how short it can be. So I hope you guys have a beautiful week. I hope you are enjoying the holidays. And if you're not, that's okay too. Because there's some days I can't stand it being the holidays and I hate it. And that's just because I miss Evelyn. And that's okay. You're allowed to feel however you're feeling during this holiday season. But take care, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Pregnancy Loss Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I created a guide on 20 ways to celebrate your angel baby. It gives you 20 amazing ways to celebrate their birthdays or ways to just remember them on any given day. If you want to download it, head over to vallenweb.com/resources and click the link. I hope you guys have a great week. See you next time.